stop everything you're doing right now. What I'm about to tell you is going to shake the wrestling world to its absolute core. The WWE Universe just witnessed the most controversial, the most disgusting, and quite possibly the most career-defining moment in wrestling history. And before you even think about clicking away, ask yourself this. Are you really okay with what just happened? Are you seriously going to sit there and accept that CM Punk, yes, your beloved voice of the voiceless, just got screwed out of the World Heavyweight Championship by a man who wasn't even supposed to be there? I'm talking about Brock Lesnar. The Beast Incarnate just cost CM Punk everything. And if you're not furious right now, you're not paying attention. This is Wrestle Scope, and we're about to expose the biggest conspiracy in WWE today. Let me paint you a picture of what went down, and I guarantee you'll be punching the air by the time I'm done. CM Punk, the man who clawed his way back to WWE after a decade away, the man who earned his spot at the top, the man who's been working his tail off every single night, was robbed. Not by a better competitor, not by someone who outworked him, but by outside interference from a part-timer who only shows up when the paycheck is big enough. Braun Breaker, the so-called next big thing, couldn't get the job done on his own. Let that sink in. This guy who WWE has been shoving down our throats as the future of the company, this genetic freak who we're supposed to believe is unstoppable, needed help to beat a 45-year-old man. And not just any help. He needed Brock freaking Lesnar to come down and deliver an F5 to CM Punk while the referee was conveniently distracted. You want to talk about disgraceful? You want to talk about disrespectful to the business? This is it. But here's what really gets my blood boiling, and this is where you need to pay attention. This wasn't just a spur-of-the-moment thing. Oh, no. This was calculated. This was planned. And the evidence is right there if you just open your eyes. Think about it. When was the last time Brock Lesnar just showed up without WWE Creative knowing about it? Never. This man doesn't sneeze without a contract negotiation. So WWE knew this was happening. They sanctioned this theft. They're complicit in destroying CM Punk's championship reign before it even had a chance to truly flourish. Let me take you back to the beginning of this obsolete travesty, because the devil is in the details, and oh boy are there details. The match started exactly how everyone expected. Two warriors, two gladiators stepping into that squared circle with championship gold on the line. CM Punk, at 45 years old, looking like he had rolled back the clock a decade. The fire in his eyes, that chip on his shoulder that made him the best in the world in the first place, was burning brighter than ever. And Braun Breaker? Credit where credit is due, the kid came to fight. For the first 15 minutes of this match, we were witnessing a classic. Back and forth action, near falls that had the crowd on their feet, technical wrestling mixed with raw, unbridled power. This was supposed to be Braun's coronation, his moment to prove he could hang with the very best without his last name, without his pedigree, without any advantages. CM Punk was telling a story in that ring. The story of a veteran who's seen it all, done it all, and refuses to let the new generation just walk over him. Every strike, every submission hold, every calculated move was a masterclass in professional wrestling. He was showing Braun Breaker and the entire world why he's called the best in the world. Around the 20-minute mark, Punk hit the GTS, the go to sleep, and the crowd erupted. The referee counted 1, 2, 3, kick out. Braun Breaker's shoulder shot up at 2.9 seconds. The resilience, the heart. This is what championship matches are made of. But here's where things started getting weird. The referee, who had been positioned perfectly throughout the entire match, suddenly seemed distracted. Braun Breaker rolled to the outside, seemingly to catch his breath, to regroup, to figure out how to overcome the impossible odds stacked against him. CM Punk, being the competitor he is, wasn't about to let Braun recover. He went to the outside, grabbed Breaker, and threw him back into the ring. And that's when the arena went dark. Not pitch black, but the lights dimmed just enough for the crowd to know something was about to happen, something big. The familiar entrance music hit, and at first people thought it might be a mistake, a technical glitch, because why would Brock Lesnar be here? But then we saw him, all 286 pounds of the Beast Incarnate, marching down that ramp with purpose, with intent, with the look of a man on a mission. Now, here's what the WWE apologists are going to tell you. Oh, it's just good storytelling. It's just building heat. It's creating a memorable moment. But let me ask you something. When did we start celebrating cheating as good storytelling? When did we start applauding the fact that a younger, stronger, supposedly superior athlete needed a 45-year-old part-timer to save his bacon? CM Punk saw Lesnar coming. Of course he did. You don't survive in this business for over 2 decades without having eyes in the back of your head. Punk rolled out of the ring, ready to confront Lesnar, ready to stand his ground against the Beast, because that's what CM Punk does. He doesn't back down from anyone. But the referee, oh, the convenient timing of the referee, was busy checking on Braun Breaker, who was suddenly injured in the corner. How convenient. How perfectly timed. You're telling me that's a coincidence? You're telling me that Braun Breaker, who had been taking punishment for 25 minutes, just happened to need medical attention at the exact moment Brock Lesnar showed up? Come on, people, use your brains. While the referee was distracted, and I use that term loosely because he was clearly in on it, Brock Lesnar grabbed CM Punk, lifted him up with that freakish strength, and delivered a devastating F5 on the outside. Punk's body crumbled like a broken action figure. The man who had been in complete control of the match was now laid out on the cold, unforgiving floor outside the ring. And Brock just smiled. That sick, twisted smile that we've seen 1,000 times before. He didn't even stick around to admire his handwork. He just walked back up the ramp like he had just taken out the trash. The referee finally turned around, again, perfect timing, and saw CM Punk laid out on the outside. Now, a competent official would have suspected something, would have questioned what happened, would have looked at the replay, would have done something. But instead, he started the count. 1, 2, 3. Braun Breaker, who moments earlier was too injured to continue, suddenly made a miraculous recovery. He rolled out of the ring, grabbed the barely conscious CM Punk, and threw him back into the squared circle like he was a bag of potatoes. 4, 5, 6. The crowd was booing. They knew what happened. Everyone knew what happened, except apparently the one person who mattered, the referee. Braun Breaker dragged himself on top of CM Punk, hooked the leg, and the referee, who had been so slow to check on Punk earlier, suddenly had the fastest count in wrestling history. 1, 2, 3. New champion! Braun Breaker just became the new World Heavyweight Champion, and the entire arena was showering him with boos. Not cheers, not adulation, not respect, boos. Because everyone in that building knew what we all know. This was a sham. Now, let's break down why this is such an enormous problem for WWE, for CM Punk, for Braun Breaker, and for every single fan who actually cares about the integrity of professional wrestling. First off, CM Punk's credibility. This man came back to WWE with one goal, to prove he's still the best in the world. He's put on classics with Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and countless others. He's shown that age is just a number, that experience and skill can overcome youth and athleticism. But now he's got an asterisk next to his name. Now people can say, well, he only lost because of Brock Lesnar. That's not a storytelling. That's character assassination. Second, Braun Breaker's legitimacy as champion. This should have been his moment. This should have been the night where he proved he belongs at the top of the card. Instead, he's walking around with a championship that he didn't earn. He didn't beat CM Punk. Brock Lesnar beat CM Punk. Braun just happened to be there to make the cover. How is he supposed to walk into the locker room and look the other wrestlers in the eye? How is he supposed to carry himself as a fighting champion when everyone knows he's a paper champion? Third, and this is where it gets really interesting, why did Brock Lesnar do it? What's his motivation? Because Brock Lesnar doesn't do anything without a reason. This man negotiates bathroom breaks into his contract. So why would he risk his reputation, risk potential fines, risk everything to help Braun Breaker? Here's my theory, and tell me in the comments if you agree or if I'm crazy. This is about legacy. Brock Lesnar sees Braun Breaker as the second coming of himself. Think about it. Both genetic freaks, both amateur wrestling backgrounds, both with that same intensity and raw power. Lesnar is looking at Breaker and seeing a younger version of himself. But here's the twisted part. Lesnar knows his time is almost up. He knows that eventually Father Time catches up with everyone. So by attaching himself to Braun Breaker now, he's trying to secure his legacy through a new generation. He's trying to make sure that when people talk about dominant champions 10 years from now, they mention Braun Breaker and Brock Lesnar in the same breath. It's brilliant from a career perspective, but it's absolutely disgusting from a competitive standpoint. And let's talk about WWE Creative for a moment, because they're the ones pulling the strings here. They knew this would generate controversy. They knew fans would be outraged. And you know what? They're counting on it. They're counting on videos just like this one blowing up. They're counting on Twitter melting down. They're counting on people talking about this for weeks. But here's what they didn't count on: the backlash. Because this isn't the Attitude Era anymore. Fans today are smart. We know when we're being manipulated. We know when storylines are being prioritized over actual wrestling. And we're not going to accept it. Let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture here, because this isn't just about one match, one title change, one controversial finish. This is about a pattern that's been developing in WWE for years. How many times have we seen part-timers come back and overshadow the full-time roster? How many times have we seen legends return and take spotlight away from the young talent who bust their butts every single week? And now we're seeing a hybrid of that problem, a part-timer coming back